So I just wanted to make this quick video to explain, what even is what I'm trying to achieve. So, and some of my context right now. So basically, I live in Trinidad and Tobago, which is what I guess many in the US would call a developing or third world country. We have nice infrastructure, decent enough, but yeah, it is developing, and our currency is way lower than the US. I think $1 equals about 7 Trinidad and Tobago dollars. So I have kind of come to the decision that no matter what type of work, no matter how much money I make in Trinidad and Tobago, it is going to mean that I can't really get a high amount of money, or at least as much as money as I would like, right? Like, it would be more efficient for me to try to make money in US dollars or other currencies rather than in Trinidad and Tobago dollars. So that has been the big decision I've been looking at. And what I want to do is basically take some of my experience from what I've currently been doing on the side and apply it to other people. So I have a content creation page called WahWeDoing. It talks about events, experiences, things to do in Trinidad and Tobago. And I've learned a lot of content stuff, but also on the back end, how to outreach to these events, how to, have a sales call with these events, these kind of things. So right now I'm thinking that I want to provide at least the lead generation services to similar content creators like myself, or even like more established or across the world, right? So there are kind of two buckets. There's these like big pages that almost own everything. So like Blog.to is a good example. And we also have these smaller, let's call them independent creators, like what I am here. Don't know exactly which one I will go to. I'm looking at the small creators, at least at first, to build a prototype and, really cement my process. But then, ideally I'd want to work with the big guys because they'd be able to pay more money, hopefully. So that is what I'm looking at. The real change or product, or I should say service, that I'm planning to sell to the person is I'm going to develop a list, try and make it as concrete as possible, of all the different event organizers, event promoters, venues, all this kind of stuff. And then each week I'm going to scrape that list, see who has like an upcoming promotion, or just in general, I would outreach to, the different organizations. I'm assuming it's going to be mostly email outreach, but probably DMs as well, especially if the creators let me use their Instagram page. And I want to, I'll potentially need to look into calling, like getting a phone number from the area code that I'm operating in order to to call people, so that they're not like, who is this? What is happening? That would be helpful. So those are kind of all the things I'm looking at in terms of that. That is the long and short of it. I also currently work a full-time job. That's where I'm at right now. So it's going to be interesting to balance this, because I'm also still doing my content creation. So full-time job, content creation, plus trying to grow this new thing. So I have about 420 days until I end my contract at my full-time job. And that is where I intend to do something on my own full-time. And I'm hoping at the very least that I'm able to make $2,000 a month, US dollars, by that date. So it's around February 2028, sometime in there. Because that would about equal what my current salary is now. So basically I'm trying to make this something I can live on by Feb 2028. So about 420-ish days. So that is where we're at, and that is what this entire video series is going to be, where I'm just going to be talking about things I learned throughout the process, what each day was like, Most likely a bunch of frustrations and like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. But it's really just a mechanism to keep me accountable, so that I can't just be like, have a crappy day and not talk about it and forget about it, right? So that is the idea. Wish me luck. Actually, a couple of things I forgot to say. Although the short-term goal, so in a year, is about 420, not 420, in 420 days is to make 2K a month. Ideally, I would be happy with 10K a month overall. That's what I want to make. So that is why this that's why you'll see the name of this series. Also, I am hoping that there is going to be a lot of synergy, because I essentially do a lot of this cold outreach now with my content page. So I'm hoping that, a lot of things carry over. I get to test different things on myself, right, and see how it works for me before I bring it to people. I think that could be really interesting too. So there's a lot of synergy, and I honestly think if there's any way that I'm going to succeed breaking into the US market or doing a business like this, this is the highest likely way to do it. The other option, I'm not even going to go into that, but maybe I'll talk about more of that later. But either way, that's kind of where we're at. Wish me luck. Thank you.